Smiley from the Energy Boutique with your energy forecast for Wednesday, June 1st. So welcome to June. If you haven't listened to the June energy forecast intro, I'm going to recommend you do that. We have to kind of lay it all out to see what the month of June is meant to do as far as life lessons go, as far as our energy goes, as far as cleaning up the mess that May definitely made for us. Coming into June, there's a brand new energy, a brand new lesson, a brand new cycle that we have to work with. Again, we do a deep dive in that astro forecast on what all of these astro events over this next month are meant to do for our evolvement. We are coming into the very first day of June with still the new moon in Gemini energy. We will begin to see the moon having a little tiny bit of illumination in our sky, that little beautiful slither that reminds us that guess what? We are coming out of a dark phase and moving into a brand new cycle. That should give us a lot of hope, a lot of faith that on a brand new month, in a brand new phase, we are definitely going to see a brand new beginning be initiated. We're coming into the very first day of June with the moon moving out of Gemini energy and into its place of power in Cancer. So the moon rules over Cancer energy. And we have 6 different aspects taking place here today, and all 6 of them involve the moon. This is a pretty powerful start to a brand new month. This is a pretty powerful day for our emotions, for rest, for refuge, in order for us to take a step back and really kind of solidify what it is that we want to do with our energy moving into this month. So typically speaking, anytime the moon moves into Cancer, we tend to want to just retreat a little bit. We want to stick close to home. We want to stick to what is old and tried and tested and true, what is familiar, what brings us a sense of safety and security. We definitely want to reconnect with ourselves, even with our loved ones, because of course, through this eclipse season that the new moon just slammed the door on, we had a lot of confusing situations pop off. We've had a lot of chaos take place that has definitely affected our personal relationships. This energy provides us with a little bit of a time out. We need to slow down and just kind of move into our heart space and recognize the changes that have taken place and really kind of align with our intuition to see where it is that we're being pulled from here. So speaking of pull, the moon today is going to pop off in some not so nice ways. We'll get into that in a second with both Jupiter and Mars. If you listen to the June forecast, the intro that I put out there, you will know that Jupiter and Mars are both in Aries energy, ready to make up for lost time. But the brakes are still being pumped for a couple of reasons, mostly because Mercury is still retrograde until the end of this week. We will see a lot of tension, a lot of irritability, a lot of aggression pop off. And because these two have such a strong pull for us to move forward, and because the moon in Cancer just wants us to stick in the here and now just for a minute for us to rest and recalibrate, there is going to be this inner tension, this inner conflict, because our desires to move forward, to kind of bust free from all of these restrictions are really at odds with us just wanting to stick to the old, stick to the comfortability of what is familiar, even though we know that we will be breaking away from it eventually. What we need to know is that we have to have patience. What we need to know is that the moon in Cancer needs us to take care of ourselves, needs to get back to creating a space, especially with our home environment, where we feel safe and secure to really kind of, again, recalibrate, rest, reassure ourselves that we are okay, find stability where we can. So with 6 different aspects taking place, I would kind of say that this is relatively a quiet day in the cosmos. However, we're all up in our feels, right? We're still in this new moon energy that, typically speaking, we haven't been so sure about. There's been a lot of pressure in our heads. The space weather's been popping off. Our physical bodies are feeling the repercussions of that. If you haven't listened to this week's ascension forecast, I'm going to recommend that you do that so that you understand the physical symptoms that we are experiencing this week because of the energy. And, the moon right out of the gate is going to be semi-squaring Uranus, which is not the nicest aspect. A semi-square is a little bit of a tension point. This Uranian energy, of course, is the great awakener. It's in Taurus energy, trying to shake us up in our physical circumstances to see where it is that the foundations that we've built in our routines, in our relationships, in our money matters aren't as solid as we once thought that they were. Now, the moon in Cancer bumping into Uranus in this way is going to create a lot of emotional instability, a lot of confusion in the mental plane and the heart space. Just another reason, another nudge for us to step back from social interaction, from overcommitting ourselves, from overexerting ourselves, just to move inward and see what it is that we need for ourselves. What is our bodies asking for? What is our heart space, our emotions asking for? We really do need this little bit of pressure, of chaos, of uncertainty in order for us to figure out what it is we want to do to build the safety, security, and stability that we're now recognizing that we are lacking. The moon, like I said, is going to square off with Jupiter. Jupiter, of course, is the planet of growth and expansion, blessings and abundance. He is in Aries energy for the first time in 12 years, wanting to start a brand new cycle, wanting to really kind of be brave and bold, to rise to the challenges and obstacles that we've been facing, to cut the cord with the past and to move forward, initiating something new, something bold, something brave, new opportunities for love, for money, for growth, for expansion. But of course, we're not ready to move forward yet. The impulse is there, the desire is there, the drama of the inner conflict is there, but the moon in Cancer just needs to take a chill pill. Like, we do not want to jump into anything new right now. We don't feel safe or secure or stable enough to initiate a brand new cycle right now. We need to move inward, kind of quiet the mind. We have to do a deep dive into our heart space, really align with our intuition to see where it is that we need to kind of nurture ourselves back to a safe place, a strong place before we go jumping into something new. So a square is a conflict, it's a tension point. Again, we got 1 foot on the gas, which is very much Jupiter and Aries style, and we have 1 foot on the brake. Yes, Mercury being retrograde is kind of hauling on the Jake brake intermediately at this time, but the moon in Cancer is just, really stomping on that brake, not wanting to move forward, just needing to chill out a bit before we feel like we are in control of the wheel again. Now, we get a little bit of help here with the moon in Cancer sextiling, which is a positive energy, with Venus, the goddess of love and beauty and pleasure and worth and money, who is in her place of power in Taurus. Now, this works very well for us because Venus in Taurus wants to stick in the present moment, wants to just love ourselves, wants to fall in love with life again, wants to feel safe and secure and stable within ourselves, within our relationships, within our finances. Yes, Venus in Taurus is very much thinking about the long-term plan, but she has the ability to really ground us out, center us out, to find the blessings, the silver linings, the gratitude in this present moment, even though many of us are not happy or satisfied with the present moment current circumstances. Now, the moon in Cancer, blending its energies with Venus in her place of power at this time, is really kind of going to show us a huge insight on where it is that we just need to feel good. Many of us haven't been feeling good for a very long time. We can blame eclipse season for that. Now that the new moon in Gemini has slammed the door and nailed that sucker shut on that eclipse energy, we are essentially in a brand new cycle, but we're taking things low and slow. Intuitively speaking, we are getting in touch with the elements that we need to feel safe and secure in before we go ahead and bust out of our little comfort zone to start something new. The moon in Cancer sextiling with Venus and Taurus is definitely going to highlight for us the little things that make us happy, that bring us joy, that make us feel safe, that make us feel secure, and where it is that we need to nurture our physical form, our emotional form, and our mental form in this present moment to kind of rejuvenate our energy from what has been just an absolute shit show. Now, the moon is going to go ahead and square Mars, like I spoke about earlier. And this is definitely adding to the tension, to the inner conflict, because, of course, Mars is in his place of power in Aries, just wanting to take action, make some moves, aggress himself, get himself closer to his passions, to his desires. Mars, of course, is, again, jumping on that gas pedal. Jupiter and Mars, both in Aries, is just revving the engine up so freaking loud. We're just pinging off that red line. If you look at your dash, you will know what I'm talking about. And this moon in Cancer, nope, not having it. We don't have the energy. We don't have the stability. We don't have ourselves at a full cup before we can go again willy-nilly, start taking action, start beginning new cycles and initiating a brand new path of a mission and a purpose. We have to slow down. We have to take care of ourselves. We have to look at the foundation of what is under our feet in our home that is supposed to be a safe place for us to really live and heal in. We have to create a solid foundation in our emotions, in our mental plane, in our physical lives before we go ahead and jump into something new. This is very much a tug of war. The moon in Cancer, like I said, has the foot very heavily on that brake. And here we sit with just the tires spinning, which can create a lot of smoke. The moon is going to semi-square the true node. The semi-square is a tension point. Do we like tension? No. Do we need tension? Absolutely. Why? Because many of us do not change and are not willing to make the changes or the transformations needed unless we feel like we are sick of it all. So the true node is our destiny's point. It's trying to get us on the right path. It's trying to get us visualizing the end goal, the end dream, the end vision. It's trying to show us where it is that we need to be at in order to feel safe and secure in alignment with our mission, with our purpose. The semi-square is this tension point because, as you know, the moon in Cancer just wants to cuddle down, just wants to huddle up, just wants to stick in this present moment and find safety and security and blessings in the here and now. The true node wants us to think too far into the future in order for us to grasp this vision and this dream so that we can break it down into manageable pieces. The moon in Cancer wants no part in that. We're not looking for making plans right now. What we're looking to do is to nurture ourselves back to a safe place of stability, of security, of love, of healing. We don't really care about the future right now. We just want to make sure that the ground that we're standing on is strong enough to support us in the here and now. Again, adding to the tension of the day. The moon is going to bump into Saturn in not the nicest way, not the worst way, but not the nicest way. Saturn, of course, is the lord of karma. He rules over the systems, the foundations, the roles, the responsibilities that we have in life. Saturn is in Aquarius energy, the visionary energy, the futuristic energy, constantly trying to show us where it is that we need more independence, we need more freedom, where it is that we need to bust away from the restrictive commitments that we're no longer alignment with. But of course, the moon in Cancer doesn't want to think about the future right now. And in fact, the moon in Cancer would prefer to look back. The moon in Cancer is very connected to old attachments, if anything else. Right now, what we're trying to do is we're not trying to look back. Mercury retrograde wants us to, but we're really hesitant to do it because overall we're just done. We've already lived through it. We didn't want the experience the first time. We sure as hell don't want to sit around and review it right to death and throw ourselves back into that energy, those memories. But here's the thing. The moon in Cancer just knows, emotionally speaking, that we're not strong enough right now in this present moment to be projecting ourselves in a futuristic dream or vision to take on the weight of the roles and responsibilities that we have to boss up to in order to start building the bridge from where it is that we're at to get us to where it is that we want to be. We're not having it. We're not in a builder mood right now. What we're in the mood for is to feel comfortable, to feel cozy, to feel safe, to feel secure. to grasp a vision and a dream of what our body is asking us to give it right now. We are not at our 100%. We are not even close to having the energy to even go ahead and start initiating something new. So all of these aspects, these futuristic aspects that we keep bumping into, trying to get us to think about the future, make the plans for the future, make a move towards the future, is just not happening. The moon in Cancer needs us not only to take the foot off the gas, not only to take the foot off the brake, but to jam this sucker and park, just for us to sit there, listen to the music, get in connection with ourselves again, with our soul again, to really identify the emotional instabilities that are taking place within us so that we can heal that before we feel ready enough to put this car in motion, to start driving on the freeway with all of these distractions around us, and to start our brand new journey towards the new destination that all of these planets, all of these aspects want us to be focused on. We don't even want to look at the map right now. We just want to sit in the car, jam to the music, feel our feels until we feel ready enough to actually take control of the wheel and start driving in a brand new direction.